Welcome to HFCL Time Machine. Past, present, future, all connected.
Hi, I am with Rasika Nayanajith. He's an expert in Wi-Fi and his blog is probably one of the most widely read blogs in the Wi-Fi industry. We all have benefited from it. So welcome Rasika to this podcast. You have been to a lot of events like this around the world. So this is the second time you are here with us.
Yeah.
What is your experience as a professional in this industry? How do you see this event contributing to the Wi-Fi ecosystem?
Yeah, I can see, different experience here, like that way. Some other conferences I go, Wi-Fi sometime very focused into one area of Wi-Fi development, and now here I hear from the developers, sometime, and then access point vendors, implementation, all life cycle kind of thing. That way I get that unique experience. Sometimes it's a one day you get everything, right? In that way I enjoyed it very much. I can see this provide a unique experience, that way. Yes, I know it is like a lot of our local community here, but I feel a difference. So in that way I really see a difference. In that way I encourage many people to come and experience, and then get value out of it.
Okay. You have been part of this industry for almost 2 decades, I guess, right? And you have deployed networks, you have managed large networks. In the last, let's say if you take 1 decade in the history of Wi-Fi, right? What do you think is the single biggest advancement from a technology point of view which has helped make Wi-Fi better from an end user point of view?
I would say still, sometime maybe technology like Wi-Fi 6, 11ax, even though people question about, whether it's really beneficial, but I would say countries like India, probably they're very high density, in that way, without getting some efficiency, I would say it's definitely we are not going the right direction. In that way, sometime in the congested network. Now the biggest challenge is, I think, even the conference presented, Wi-Fi 7 is not performing well, but I think if you put the test in the very congested environment, sometime Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 7, I believe, provide some efficiency. In that way, I think OFDMA, introduction of that, I think provide value years to come as well, even though people does not really see the value now. When they realize Wi-Fi getting really saturated, congested, I'm sure technology like that will give a way of you can prevail,
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the concerns people have with this technology, and when they compare this with, say, cellular technology, they always say security in Wi-Fi is weak. And you have done a lot of work in this area, and yesterday also you
Yeah.
talked in more detail about it. So given the recent changes that have happened in the standards, how do you see the security posture of Wi-Fi if I compare with, say, a cellular technology?
Yeah, so I'm not too much about how, I don't know the technical detail about cellular side, but I can say confidently, wireless is a very secure, but you have to make sure you implement right method for your environment. In that way, with the introduction of WPA3, I think, we mitigated a lot of vulnerability. But the question is, are we there with WPA3? That's a sort of we are not there, maybe 10%, 20%. I think if you go with WPA3, I think wireless is a very secure protocol, in the way nobody can decrypt your traffic over the air. So, but people has a perception, wireless is less secure. I don't think that's true. But sometime if you deploy it wrongly, then yes, sometime it may be vulnerable. But sometime I would confidently say sometime 80% of wired networks are less secure, because they don't really, they think physically because of a controlled environment they are secure, but anybody can penetrate. Probably wired is not secure protocol. Wireless, I would say from the day one, if you're implementing like an enterprise and security, it's a very secure wireless.
Okay. So last question, away from technology, for young engineers who are starting in this industry, what would be your advice?
I would say, sometime get your hand dirty early as possible. Don't wait for the degree to complete or whatever you are doing. So now you have to get your hands dirty and get some practical aspect of it. In that way, that's a sort of a biggest sort of my input, like in that way, if you really want to get good at Wi-Fi, break your Wi-Fi at home or do something, like at least to you understand, take packet captures, comfortable with Wireshark, those kind of thing. Sometime in the academic, you may not teach like that way. Even we grow up like that. Until I came to the industry, I didn't have a really any idea what to do, right? Whatever we are learning in the university degree, sometimes give guidance, but it does not really tell how to survive in the real world. So in that way, if you get into home lab, do whatever, then give the confidence, right? In that way, get your hand dirty early as possible, and don't fear to break things and try to understand, hey, what happened? That's the sort of my advice.
Thank you, Rasika, for joining us at
thank
this
you very
podcast.
much, Nadeem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You've been listening to HFCL Time Machine. For more conversations like this, find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube.